low back pain, different stretches, and also self-trigger point release. So I have my foam roller, a tennis ball, and a Theracane. And I'm going to show you some different stretches and trigger point release to help you with low back pain with all my tools. I also have my bathrobe strap, and you can use all different other straps that you might have. So, first stretch we're going to do is the hamstring, and we're going to hold each stretch for about 30 seconds. And if you don't have a strap, you can just come forward into a seated bend, making sure to keep your back straight and bending from the waist. And if you do have a strap, you can do this one. So we're going to come down and you pull your leg back to where you feel a comfortable stretch. And we're going to hold for about 30 seconds. And then you can come and bring your leg across, and you'll feel this maybe in your hamstrings as well as your IT band, the side of your leg here, and maybe into the hip. If you feel any pain in your low back with this, you can come back to center and not as intense. As always, if you feel any pain during any of these, please stop and listen to your body. Remember to inhale and exhale and relax. Alright, the next thing we're going to do is foam roll out the quads and IT band. And so if you have a foam roller, you can watch what I'm going to do next. If you don't have a foam roller, then you can just come onto one knee, and you want to push your hip towards the front, and you should feel a pull all down from your knee up to your hip flexors. And then if that hurts your knee, you might want to take a pillow or something soft and put it under your knee. And for those of you that have a foam roller, you can come almost into a plank position, and you can roll up and down the fronts of your quads. And if you feel any tender spots, stop and hold for about 30 seconds. And you want to make sure you pull in your low belly as you're doing this, so you protect your low back. So that's the first quad line. Then you can come onto your side, and this is really great for the low back, and do your IT band and pausing anywhere you feel any tight spots. This is super intense, so if it's too much, you might want to come up and take some pressure, some weight off. And I feel a huge knot here, so I'm going to pause and breathe for 30 seconds. This is no joke right here. This is usually very tight for people. So just take your time and don't go too hard. And then the next tip I'm going to show you guys is if you have a tennis ball, I'm going to unclip this for a second, mine rolled away. Tennis ball, trigger point ball, whatever will work. And even if you don't have a tennis ball, you can still do this stretch. And we're going to target the side of your hip here, the gluteus maximus. All this tension in here can contribute to low back issues. So you can start with the first side. Let's see what I'm doing here. And you want to bring your leg out to the side and put it under your glutes. And you can lay down. So I'm putting it literally under, right into the meat there. And whoo, that is intense. Hold this for about 30 seconds. If you don't feel anything there, you can kind of move around to a spot where you do feel it's a little tender. And remember to pull your belly button in toward your spine to protect your low back during this. You don't want any arching of your back. This one's really great for sciatica. You can target the piriformis. A lot of time the sciatic nerve will get pinched by the piriformis. And then you can also do some hip circles with the ball under your glutes. And then the last one is to get the TFL muscle, which runs right up on the side. And this one you want to be on your side with your knees bent, 90-degree angle with your hips. Put it right in the pocket there where your belt would be. And then you're just gonna pray and breathe through it, because these can really be very intense in here. And you can move backward and forward and play with where you think there's a trigger point. And again, trigger points are tight knots in the muscle tissue that basically don't have enough nutrients or blood flow. And so by stimulating them, we are bringing more blood flow to the knots and repairing any of the dysfunctions. All right, so I just did my left side. So now I'm going to do the right, just switch sides, and we're going to do the same thing through, starting with the seated hamstring or strap. You may notice one side's a little tighter, and that's totally normal. Just something to be aware of, and maybe stretch a little extra on the tighter side. And exhaling across. You might also feel this one like into your shin area on the outside of your lower leg. It's going to get your whole side chain there. All right, and we're going to do the quads all tangled up. Quads rolling. Switch sides. So you can do the front ways again. You can roll all the way down to your knees and back to your hips. And then do the other quad or IT band. Oh. Any tension you feel, you want to breathe through it, knowing that it's going to let go. What you resist persists. Remember, oh, that is intense. Go all the way down to your knee and all the way back up. The more you do this, the better it's not gonna be as tender each time. That's so intense on my right side, which is so interesting because I actually have more pain on my left side, which you will find a lot of times your opposite side will be tighter. Whoo-wee. That was intense. You might find a little soreness after that, just like you've had a deep tissue massage. I'm definitely a little sore after that, but I noticed that I have more mobility in my low back. Next thing, the opposite hip on the glutes. So we'll just come out to the side, find a tender spot, and breathe. And move it around. All right. And then the last, if you do have a Theracane, this is mostly for the neck and shoulders where we all carry stress. So if you don't have a Theracane, you can just do some neck stretches side to side. And then if you do, you can take this pointy end here and then come across, and you want to relax the arm the side that you're massaging. And then you can do what's called pin and stretch. So you find a tender spot and then go to the opposite side until you feel it kind of release. You can do side to side and turning back and forth. And then hit the other side. You want to aim for kind of right on top of that muscle there where we all carry a lot of stress. And then you can turn. And then that's all I have today. Thanks for joining me.